There's only one Bruce Gilden, and most of what you're seeing online, it's not even close. His name alone sparks something in every street photographer. Some admire him like a street god. Others think he's the reason the genre has turned the corner to cringe. But wherever you fall in the spectrum, one thing is clear. Gilden changed the game. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He got close, fired his flash, and made his images feel like punches. It's a boxing reference. He used to box as a kid. And now everyone with a Ricoh and a POV rig wants to be the next Bruce Gilden. But here's the thing. Most of them aren't channeling their inner Gilden. Rather, they're copying a gimmick. That flash in the face tactic, it used to mean something. Now it's just content. And that's why I'm making this video, not to tear Gilden down, but rather to talk about how his influence has been misunderstood, misused, misinterpreted, and honestly misrepresented. Because if you look at his early work, especially the Coney Island stuff, or his project over in Haiti, there was brilliance there. But we've reached a point where a whole generation of street photographers are mistaking intimidation for intention. Like I just mentioned, Bruce Gilden's best work wasn't those flash in the face, hit and run shockers in Manhattan. That stuff may have gone viral before the word viral was even around, but to be honest, it wasn't even the soul of his street photography. The real magic, it came much earlier. Slower, more thoughtful. During that time, that's when you saw Gilden with heart, not just heat. And let's be honest here, part of the switch from pose to close-up flash, street portrait, sure, it had mass appeal, but a lot of it had to do with the man just getting older. At his age, and even for the past 15 years, you can't expect Gilden to pound the pavement for hours. So the evolution, the transition in his case made complete sense. But if you're one of those street photographers today that are copying from that era without understanding the why, then you're really missing the mark here. I mean, going back to Bruce Gilden's earlier original work, those photos are weird. Yes, intimate, absolutely. But more than anything, they make you curious. They make you wanting to know more. Gilden was exploring the eccentricity of beachgoers, old-timers, and Brooklyn personalities. He wasn't mocking them or chasing a viral moment. He didn't just get close physically, but he got close emotionally, and you can tell through his photographs. That era of Bruce Gilden as a photographer, it showed that he knew when to pause, when to observe, and sense and build a rhythm in his environment. And I think that's something his imitators in today's street scene don't get or understand. Being close isn't about distance, it's about connection. You feel me, bro? Coney Island wasn't about confrontation, it was about character. Today's Gilden's imposters or minions skip the depth and jump straight to the gimmick. Now let's talk about intent, because copying someone's technique without understanding their intent is kind of like quoting, I don't know, Shakespeare just to sound smart. It doesn't mean you get the story. Did that make sense? I don't know. Bruce Gilden didn't walk around with a flash just to be edgy. His images weren't just in your face. They were much more than that. They were layered with psychology, attitude, and commentary. He was documenting a very specific New York in a very specific moment. But somewhere along the lines, photographers saw the what? Flash in the face and forgot the why. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Many of today's Gilden style photographers aren't chasing truth. If you can only guess what I'm about to say next, they're chasing virality. They want the reaction, they want the conflict, they want their Instagram reel, TikTok moment. But without the context, history, or understanding the intent, it all just becomes a performance. Some walk up to strangers with zero rapper, pop a flash in their face, and call it street photography. Oh my god! That's not homage, that is cosplay. It strips the dignity away from the subject and reduces the photography to shock value. And let's be clear here, some of these people want to go viral. That is their intention. They could care less if the photo means something. They just want the views. It's not street photography, it's street content, really. And just to add the cherry on top here, there's a difference between confrontation with purpose and just clearly being annoying. And I already know what half of you guys are gonna say in the comment section down below. Whenever someone like myself or others critique popular street photography trends, whether it was like my last video on POV street reels, flashing people's faces, or mimicking old masters, the knee-jerk response is always, stop gatekeeping. But think about that, stop gatekeeping. This isn't about keeping people out. It's about moving the genre forward. In its purity, street photography at its best, at its core, is about finding your own voice. It is more of an art than it is a science, and finding your voice takes time. It takes real effort. It takes being bad. It takes a lot of missteps. It takes extra time to study the masters, study the greats, study their photographs, but study their habit. When I'm saying don't just copy Gilden, I'm not building a wall. I'm encouraging you to actually go deeper than that. Because honestly, if all you do is flash people in their faces and say you were inspired by Bruce Gilden, then you know what? Congratulations! Woo! You've recreated a style from 50 years ago and you absolutely said nothing new. I mean, again, this is not about purity or snobbery. It's about keeping the genre evolving and not falling down the rabbit hole of TikTok, Instagram reel, cosplay. You will never grow as an artist by tracing someone else's line. You grow by drawing your own line. So why do so many people copy Gilden or are so infatuated with his aura? But honestly, it might not even be about going viral or not. It's probably because developing your own style is very hard and challenging. It takes a lot of time, a lot of failure, a lot of experimentation. Mimicking Gilden is easy. It gets attention. It feels rebellious. You get to play the edgy street photographer in modern times without doing actual work. But truthfully, you can't build a reputation off of someone else's identity. The whole irony about all this is Gilden's whole persona is about being original. So copying him will be kind of like the biggest betrayal for what he even stood for. So what am I trying to say here? You can't shortcut a vision. Copying style without substance only works once. And Mr. Gilden already owns that lane, so find a new one. So where do we go from here? The answer isn't to ditch flash or get timid or be nice for the sake of it. The answer is to ask yourself, what kind of story am I trying to tell? Instead of trying to get close for a shock value, get close because you care, because you have empathy. Build work around themes, study gestures, faces, movement, context. Try a little bit of restraint from time to time. Try delving into mystery. Sprinkle in a little bit of humor. Try to find that out in the streets. I mean, to be honest, try studying anything that's not street photography. Then try something that's yours. If you want to stand out in the sea today, stop trying to be louder and start being truer to yourself. I promise you, if you look at the index of all the best street photographs in the history, the most memorable street photographs aren't always the most aggressive, they're the most human. So to wrap this up, Bruce Gilden made his name by being one of one. Bold, confrontational, and unapologetic himself. So if you're just copying his style without his intent, you're not paying tribute. Really, you're missing the point entirely. Gilden wasn't interesting because he used flash, he was interesting because he had something to say. The flash was just his tool, his icing on the cake. Now in 2025, we see people using it as a gimmick, a shortcut to attention with no story behind it. Let's be real here. If Bruce Gilden was starting today, he wouldn't try to recreate someone else's legacy. He'd be carving out his own. That's what real street photography is about. Seeing for yourself, not reenacting someone else's vision. So take what you need from the greats, but leave the mimicry behind, because the world doesn't need more Bruce Gildens, it needs more of you. And you know what? I have a challenge for you guys right here, right now. Especially if you ever felt tempted to go full Bruce Gilden mode. The next time you go out shooting for your next 10 photographs, don't imitate anyone. No flash, no rule, no references. Just walk, observe, and respond. Forget the algorithms, forget the followers, forget posting. Just focus on developing your eye. If this video hit a nerve, good. Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. Gilden became an idol by being original. If you're copying him, you're not following in his footsteps, you're really erasing them. And if you're serious about finding your own voice and not mimicking someone else's style, then it's time to start treating your work like it matters. Recently, I've been using Pixpa to build a nice, clean website, no fuss portfolio, not for likes or follows, but to actually see my portfolio evolve all in one place. If you're trying to step out of a copycat cycle and present your photography seriously, especially if you're just starting out, a portfolio site like Pixpa can do more than Instagram ever will. There's an affiliate link down below. Simple, easy templates, and it goes to help the channel here. So there you have it, guys. If you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and you know that notification bell, hit that, and every time I post new video or content, you'll be notified. Until then, stop copycatting, go out and shoot, find your voice, put in the work, and enjoy the journey. Stay safe and keep shooting.